Look, the Chicago Bears just quietly stole a pretty huge talent. And there's no secret, right? The Bears ignored the safety position in the draft. And that's been a big knock when going through this year's draft take when you analyze it. But there are just two players that have been signed as undrafted free agents. First of all, we've got Major Burns. It sounds like a joke name, right? Phone call for Major Burns. And Taiishim Johnson. Now, Burns, he's gotten most of the attention here because of his size. He stands at 6'3" as a safety. Pretty good speed, too, running a 4.5 40, 37-inch vertical. The measurables are there. But the guy that many, including Greg Gabriel, the guy that many are saying is an absolute steal as an undrafted free agent is Taiishim Johnson. Now, this isn't just a camp body. This is a signing we should take seriously because, frankly, undrafted free agents, those have become kind of a bit of a tradition recently at Hallis Hall, right? We've got fan favorite Jack Sanborn in 22, Tyson Bagent in 23. Even a guy like Reddy Stewart, he made some noise last year. So, talking about Taiishim Johnson, arguably the best player on the defense, on the whole defense at Oregon last year. He just came up big time after time after time from the safety position. And this undrafted free agent, I'm telling you, he has a really good shot at making this roster. Grades out as an instinctual, hard-hitting, physical safety who can actually come down and play the run as well. Really good hands, around the ball often. And this is a guy that can knock the spit out of your mouth. He finished second on the team with 67, 7 games with at least 5 tackles, 77.6 tackling grade from PFF, 3 interceptions, 2.5 tackles for a loss. Now, 5 picks in the last 2 years. That's what he's put out here. Just really has a nose for the ball. But the reason that he isn't being really highly touted as a steal in most mainstream media, most outlets, is that the guy doesn't have prototypical size. He only is 5'10" and 195 pounds. Good weight, though. But I'm telling you, this guy has a big chance to make this roster due to his fit within specifically Dennis Allen's scheme. And also Dennis Allen's history of success with safeties of similar stature. And essentially, this perceived size issue with Johnson, not an issue at all, zero bearing when trying to make the team with the Chicago Bears. And Ryan Poles had this to say about this signing. Obviously, Brisker being healthy and playing at a high level, we still believe Kevin is going to do a great job for us as well. He's an ultimate pro, a great leader back there. So we're just going to monitor that situation. But at the same time, we need to be developing this young talent in that room to see if they can push to make a roster spot. And this is a lot of the motivation behind signing these two players. And if we look at it, it's not totally uncommon for undrafted free agents, guys that take part in the rookie camp coming up right next week. It's not unusual for them to make the 53-man roster coming out of training camp. And it wouldn't be out of the question for either of these two safeties to do it because, frankly, it's typically easier the first year of a new coaching staff. A new staff that they aren't wed to the veterans on the rosters like the other staff has been that have carryovers, guys that they drafted, guys that they recruited. And there's also really a big depth concern behind Brisker and Byard. That's no secret. So knowing all this, let's kind of go through specifically through the team fit here. And let's look at how Dennis Allen has done some of his best work with safeties that are really not prototypical size. I think the number one name on that is probably C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Absolute stud in this scheme. He was only 5'11" and 210 pounds. And then you've got the honey badger, right? You've got Tyrann Mathieu. He was a pro bowler with him from 22 to 24 in his defense. He graded out at only 5'9" and 190 pounds. So if you look at Dennis Allen with safeties, he just flat out knows how to use the talent that he's given, how to put players in position to succeed. And Johnson, he's a fantastic deep coverage safety. That's his specialty. And he also plays with kind of a physical chip on his shoulder, which is nice to see. So to go with the 5 picks over the last 2 years, add on to that 137 tackles, add 8 of them for a loss. He defended 8 passes. He added on a sack. I mean, so his career totals 6 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, and also 16 tackles for a loss, playing just his aggressive style. And he started out in the SEC originally at Ole Miss for 2 years. Then he hit the transfer portal to the Dogs. It's just crazy with college football. It's like they have free agency now. It's an old guy like me. It's hard to get used to this, but the only reason this guy wasn't drafted, though, it was simply because of the size issue. And once again, under Allen, it simply isn't the case. And you're looking at several of his teammates on the Ducks. Several guys on defense were drafted. And then if you're looking at possibly the best defender on that team, like, that's what you got in Johnson. I say sign me up. This is a really nice move by Poles, working in tandem with Dennis Allen. And then if you kind of look at the draft, the Bears, they actually were in position to pick a few safeties in the middle rounds, but then they stayed true to their assessments. They really saw some strong traits that they liked, mainly speed. 4th rounder Maryland linebacker Ruben Hippolyte, and 5th round cornerback Zah Frazier. I think it's Zay Frazier, actually. Z-A-H. It's Zay Frazier. Sorry about that, but personally, I just love the synergy. I love the teamwork here. The coaches, they're actually getting the players they want for their schemes, and the front office is working with them. Just a really encouraging way of doing business that we're seeing. I think we finally got the mix right here. So far, it's a yes, but I'm exactly like you. I want to see the proof on the field. Camp can't come soon enough. We've got the first semblance of that in just a week. And you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think the future is at safety for the Chicago Bears? I mean, we've got Jaquan Brisker back there, but he has such a history of concussions. Having him and only Kevin Byard back there as true safeties. We've got some other guys that could possibly plug in there, but these are 2 true safeties on the roster. If a guy like Johnson, if he could just absolutely ball out in camp, which I think he will, he has an absolute ball hawk mentality, which I think is going to come through in camp. Having this guy added to the roster for essentially nothing, an undrafted free agent that was actually the best defensive player, arguably, in my opinion, he was, on a big-time Oregon Ducks team facing top competition. And the only knock on him is size, but in Dennis Allen's scheme, it's like a little bit of undersized play at safety. He's like, who cares? I am going to use him at his strength, and I truly trust him to do so. You guys, love having you here. We've built a really cool community here. Bear down, and I'll continue to be here with Chicago Bears News on the Daily. We'll talk soon.